Celtics post-game live. Eddie House, Amina Smith here with you. The Celtics losing in overtime to the Golden State Warriors, 132-126. And the Celtics, they led by as much as 17 points in tonight's matchup. And Eddie, we talked about this in the pre-game show that this could be a trap game for this Celtics team, but it looked like they were in control at some point in this matchup. They could have gotten the win. What went wrong for Boston?
They were in control of the game. They were up 11 going into the fourth quarter, but I think this was one of those classic playing not to lose type of game instead of playing to win. I felt like they kind of went away from what they were doing early on as attacking. They started walking the ball up the court. They had some really, really bad possessions, I thought, in the fourth quarter where the ball wasn't hopping as much as it was. We settled for a lot of threes. We got some good looks at it, but we weren't knocking them down, and that's when the awareness of the players have to kick in and say, okay, they're not going down. Make one more play after that. You have a wide open shot. It's hard to turn that down. I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about the contested shots. You could pass that up or attack, kick it out, and try to get better shots. But, again, you got to give Golden State all the credit, and we did talk about it before the game. To me, this was going to be the toughest one of them all. Out of all four games that they were going to be playing on the West Coast, I thought this was going to be the toughest one, and it was. I mean, Steph Curry showed his championship medal, and so did Klay Thompson.
It almost felt like the Warriors, they knew it was on the line with this matchup. Even though they've been in disarray, like what's happening within that team, they knew that this was an important matchup that they had to win against this Celtics team. Let's take a look at how it all unraveled in that fourth quarter. We start here with this play. Jason Tatum getting over to Derek White. He gets the three, gives the Celtics the lead right here. And then we move on to this next one. Steph Curry, you know what he's going to do. Hit this three. It ties it at 121 apiece. And then Steph Curry, he's getting comfortable. However, on this play right here, the Celtics, Eddie, they missed 5 times on this possession. I look back at them losing this game, and I feel like this is a key point where you lose, you know, where you're not making a shot and you have 5 chances to make the shot. I take a look at this play right here.
Yeah, you had every opportunity you can, and these are besides Jason Tatum's shot, I thought all of them were good looks. They had opportunities to score. This is another one right here that ends up being a bunny. Look at Al creating a lane for JB. JB misses. Al misses the tip back. It's just one of those games, and it's like a snowball effect. Once it starts rolling like that, it gets bigger, 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 and it seemed like right there, I thought that it was easily off of Davis out there. See, Davis punched that right there.
Yep.
The ball clearly goes from being in Al's hands to going out of bounds. But you can't rely on the refs to make the good call. They've been horrible all season long, so it's no surprise that they missed that one.
Chris Paul getting the ball right here. He's going to miss this shot for the Golden State Warriors. And then on this next possession, Jason Tatum, he's going to miss this shot as Drew Holiday gets it down the floor. The pace slowed down just a little bit, but Jason Tatum on here on this play trying to make something happen, a contested three. And that's what I wanted to get into. Should Joe Mazzulla have called a timeout in that moment right there?
Well, I think so, because the one thing is that if you look at the last few baskets or attempted shots that Jason Tatum took, Kuminga was all over him.
Yep.
Kuminga played good defense. You got to give credit to him. He was up in JT. He was in his airspace. He didn't allow him to create any space. He was contesting the shot. I think that was a good time for Joe to, and this is all hindsight. You know, you letting your players, you trust your players, but after that scrum where we got 5 opportunities, didn't make it. Now we're coming down with an opportunity to win it at the buzzer. That's when I think you should take the timeout. Let's draw something up. Let's get him. If we want to get JT the ball, let's get him the ball in a favorable spot for him, not where he has to work to get to his spot. Or if we want to get to JB, the same thing. I think we have players that's going to make the right plays if they get the opportunity to make the play, either for themselves or for their teammates, and they trust their teammates. So I would trust them in that situation out of a timeout to make the right play. Again, the scrum happened where we got 5 attempts at it. Then they miss, we get it back. It's in disarray. Everything, the rhythm of the game is helter-skelter. So you want to calm everything down in that situation. But it should never have came down to that. You know, you were up 11 going into the fourth quarter. And, again, I just thought that they took their foot off the gas a little bit, relaxed, exhaled just a second too soon, and allowed the Warriors to jump right back into the game and get this W.
And we got some bonus basketball tonight. Let's take a look at that overtime tape right here. And then you got Kuminga starting on this one. And this is where it felt like, okay, the Warriors, now they're taking control of this matchup in overtime. Gets the steal, gets the bucket for 2. And then, you know, the Warriors, they're feeling good right here. Klay Thompson gets it over to Jackson Davis on this play. He's going to go up at the bucket. And then also on the defensive end, Jackson Davis blocking Jaylen Brown. Eddie, I felt like the juices were flowing for the Warriors in overtime. They knew that this was their game.
Yeah, Ned, well, I mean, we had opportunities. You got to give this team credit. That's a championship pedigree team over there. And that's all you could do. You could give them credit. They never quit. They could have easily just folded it in. But I feel like as they started ratcheting up their energy and their level, I felt like we kind of just thought the game was over with.
Yeah.
Again, instead of playing to win the game, we started playing not to lose. And when you start playing that brand of basketball, for the most part, you never win.
Yeah, you see Jason Tatum missing on that possession right there, and then Al Horford showing that frustration on the floor. Then Steph Curry just doing Steph Curry things, getting the bucket right here. Chase Center goes absolutely insane. Horford with the three in the corner. It cuts down the Warriors' lead to just 1 point. And then you're thinking that the Celtics team, they have a chance. And then look at this right here. The Warriors, they get something going. Steph Curry says night-night. Literally, you can see him right there. He's putting this Celtics team to bed. At that point, it's 130 to 126. And Eddie, when he did that, I couldn't do anything but think about what you were talking about in the pregame show, about how Steph Curry and this Warriors team, they feel like the Celtics, they're like their little brothers.
That's exactly how they feel. And they felt like they were, even though during the game it was a point where we felt like, okay, we're about to run away with this. They felt like they were constantly in the game. They kept playing. Again, I felt like we took our foot off the gas in that fourth quarter offensively. We started playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
Scal joining us live courtside. Scal, from your vantage point, how did the Celtics lose this game? Drew Carter as well.
I mean, I think they got a lot of open shots, but I didn't like the way we played offense in the fourth. I agree with Eddie. You know, I don't like when our Celtic team is not on the attack. I don't like when we walk the ball up the floor. I don't like when we make one pass or play matchup basketball, and all of a sudden now we're sitting there with 7 seconds to go on the shot clock and one guy going one-on-one. It's not like this is the Golden State Warriors. Like, it'll work against the Orlando Magic or inexperienced teams, but against good teams, like these guys have faced this before. Like Steph Curry has faced, we're going to pick on Steph Curry and we're going to try to beat them, not just here in the regular season, in the NBA Finals. So I'm not a fan of the way we played, even though if any of those Hauser threes go, if that corner three from Peyton Pritchard goes, all of a sudden we're sitting on like a 16-point lead, but they don't go, and I just didn't like the way we responded from that moment on.
Drew, I took a look in that fourth quarter where the Celtics, they missed 5 chances to score those buckets, and I thought to myself, I feel like this is where the Celtics, they're losing the game at the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, this building was alive. You know, it really wasn't for the first half. I mean, the first quarter, the Celtics dominated, and then they built that 17-point lead in the second half, and it did feel like it was over. But Scott, I think you're exactly right. It's a great point about Sam Hauser. I mean, it's the worst three-point shooting game of his career. First time he's ever had more than 5 attempts without a make. Also, of course, Kristaps Porzingis is out, but you know, those are excuses. This is a game the Celtics really felt like they had, and they should have won.
No.
And, I mean, Steph was amazing, but still, the Celtics should have won.
The difference is Steph Curry was like, and Eddie saw it firsthand. I think he was seeing courtside. Steph was like, oh, I'm going to win this game. And for us, we were like, man, can the clock run out so we can win this game? And it's hard. You could do it, and I'm sure if it was at home, we would have won this game. But on the road, you can't limp to the finish line. That's just not how it's going to be. And to me, it felt like I don't love that offense when you're on the road, just kind of going out there and trying to pick on one matchup and trying to take a step back three with 5 seconds to go on the shot clock.
And, you know, hindsight is 20/20, but I'm going to look at this. I think that scrum where we had 5 opportunities to score, you know, right there at the end, we got the 5 looks. I think that's a time where you call a timeout. You call a timeout, settle things down, because it was helter-skelter. Even that last second shot, even the last shot that Jason Tatum ended up taking, you know, I felt like that was a contested shot. You could feel the game, and you guys were right there courtside. So, and I'm seeing the game, and I'm feeling the energy jump off the screen. It was kind of helter-skelter there. So when it's helter-skelter, calm the guys down. We're in their building. We have a chance to take a shot to win it, or we go into overtime. Either or, that's cool. I think that one, keeping that timeout in our pocket wasn't beneficial for us. I think we'll learn from it. But at the same time, it should never have come down to that. But I think that's one part, if I look at this, them taking their foot off the gas and playing not to lose instead of to win. And then right there at the end, not using your timeouts the right way. Because when we did come out of that timeout, we got Al a shot in the corner.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that one because I kind of feel, so I treat everything differently, like at home and on the road. At home, I have no problem letting the crowd get involved and you go out there and you go make a play. I actually would not want to call a timeout at home. But on the road, I kind of agree with you, Eddie. I think having a timeout, settling your guys down, like having something you want to go to. We had 3 matchups you could exploit with all the guys out there. So, yeah, I would agree with you, especially on the road in this environment with the Warriors having most of the momentum.
I think maybe one reason they didn't call it, and you mentioned this during the game, is that Steph was out there with 5 fouls. If you call the timeout, they pull him.
I don't know
right?
if they would.
You don't think so?
But who cares?
I don't know if they would.
But who cares if they pull him or not? If we take that shot, they take him out. Nobody cares if they take him out.
They were trying to get the 6th foul on Steph for 17 minutes, so it didn't end up mattering.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
I was just saying, like, I think I said that, but I think I would have been wrong. I think Steve Kerr would have kept Chris Paul and Steph Curry in there. There's no one else. They have. This team that team is thin. They're not going to take out Steph Curry in this situation. I don't think they would have done it. So you probably call the timeout to settle your team.
The Celtics had this game in the bag, and they let it slip away.